أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Thank you for coming, attending this rare seminar, which I thought in Solihull probably at least 2,000 needs this seminar.
Are you recording it, Amna? I won't record it.
It's streaming, inshallah, streaming on is it coming on Facebook? YouTube as well. So the problem is that many people actually have little idea about what is the care for mentally ill or elderly, because we're not talking about mentally ill only, we're talking about the care for the elderly parents. What sort of illnesses causes what sort of needs. And most people wake up when they need, and they start phoning and contacting, and things need preparation, and as you will see in a minute. So I'm going to talk about care for the elderly with mentally impaired, who are mentally impaired or mentally ill. Brother Dr. Mudathar Sulaiman is going to talk about the needs of physically ill elderlies and how you could address the need. And then you will always need to go to social service. Obviously, you could go, so you will need occupational therapists, you will need physiotherapists, you will need a lot of other agencies, psychology, Alzheimer's disease society, whatever. But at least if we cover the main people you need to talk to, and you could talk to them now and prepare yourself for inevitable, which is having an elderly parents who need help. So I'm going only to talk about people with dementia or poor memory. There's a lot to talk about people with depression, psychotic illnesses, neurotic illnesses, drug abuse. There is elderly with drug abuse and alcohol abuse. So caring for people with dementia, I include obviously people who have age-related memory impairment. Because age-related memory impairment also, they will need some sort of support because they will need their needs addressed. So the first thing you think of when you meet somebody with mental impairment is the safety and the environment, because they could be advanced in the disease that they can go out and wander and get lost in the street, or they can burn their food, or they can eat food expired already, and they could have loose carpet in the house, a lot of obstacles in the way. And the elderly usually have some sort of either vision impairment or hearing impairment or both, and they will have difficulty navigating through the house. So usually we advise that the house has to be well lit, good lights there, and all the sources of safety had to be taken care of, like leaving the cooker on, leaving the gas on without lighting it, forgetting to put the food on the cooker. So many will change to microwave. Go microwave about 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and it stops. So a lot of hazards. One of the hazards, I met a lady who was a bit short, but her house, the lock is actually small lock and it's high. So she has to put a small chair to go and open the door, because the elderly lose their muscles power and they will have difficulty even opening the door. They're open for 60 years. When they are elderly, they have difficulty with that. So you need to look into this. I need to look into the small step become big step for them. So if there's a step with the door, has to be taken care of, and usually they apply a rail, and they get hold of the rail and go up the stair. They might need a second banister. They need a rail at least when they go upstairs or downstairs. And they might not open the window. They might not lock the door. We see patients who leave the door open, or the door could be locked automatically. You close the door, it's locked. If they forget the key, then they're stuck outside. By the time the son comes from Southampton, they're already frozen to death. Then, so safety and environment has to be taken care of immediately when you notice that your parents or one of them have problem with memory. The other thing you need to notice that the parents could be husband and wife, but both have memory problem, and they're not watching what's happening. Or could be the father, the wife died, and the father never cooked a meal, never did shopping, never cleaned the house, never had a look at the fridge. So suddenly you end by a parent who's like a child. You need to train him from beginning to end, which is rather, odd, but it is the case. Especially men, when the wife dropped dead, we discovered the father is half impaired as well. If the husband dropped dead, probably you will not notice the wife is impaired, because she usually does most of the work in a mechanical way. Wakes up. I had a lady, she scored 3 out of 30 on the mini mental state examination. 3 out of 30 is a massive loss. So I sent the occupational therapist to see her and the social worker, and they both came and said that she's fine, she's safe. She wakes up, wash and dress and prepare her meals and have breakfast, clean the house, and go to the next door shop. She shops and come back and make her lunch. She does the same in the evening and go to bed. So she does. If you ask her, have you taken breakfast? No, but she had, because you see the things is in the sink. So, but husband might not be. So it could be that the husband is actually. We went to see a patient in near Land Rover, and they opened the fridge, and there's worm there. There's the worms eating the food which is left and things. And the problem became to all of us, who will take the fridge to the tip? Because no agency's job is to take it. So I had to pay £15, somebody cleared it, take it to the tip. Then we started sorting out the other issue. So safety and the environment is extremely important for your loved one to look into once they show signs of memory. The loss of memory is very sensitive, so you need to address it in a way that you sort out the problem without telling that I'm doing this, mom, for because you have poor memory. You've forgotten to lock the door, or you've forgotten to cook, or you've forgotten. Burning the food is very dangerous, and we always put a timer, or we replace it by microwave, or we disconnect the fridge and the cooker, and we probably replace it by delivering the food, or home carer come and cook the food and things. Communication become difficult for them because of poor sensation, poor hearing, poor eyesight, and they have poor processing of the thoughts, because the brain is shrinking. So you need to wait till they process what you said, and you need to wait a bit longer and give them a chance. And you need to face them when you talk to them, and they can read your lips as well as trying to hear what you say. So they read your lips, and you need to make sure that they are actually paying attention to you, not drifting far away from you. So you and expect that you need to repeat 1 or twice or 3 times, and to be patient with that. And one of the daily routine, some elderly have already daily routine, some don't. And if you can keep that daily activity, is not. We have in Islam that you get rewarded if you care for your parents and look after them. Well, in fact, you could be disabling them. You take away their skills by being so kind. So to be kind, you might have to be ruthless a bit to be kind to them. Yeah, Dad, I'm going to see, I'm sitting here waiting for you to make me a cup of coffee. I know I need to make it for you, but I like your coffee. You do it better, and whatever. You use the language into, making them convinced, yes, they better do that. And then you notice, because this is what the OT does. She goes there and says, make a cup of tea. She's a guest. He feels embarrassed. He needs to do, but she will be assessing what he's doing. But if you are a son or a daughter or relative, might be the norm is that you make the tea. But you need to find a polite way to get them to and see what they're doing wrong. It's like Sheikh, one of our scholars, Sheikh Ali. His daughter, his sister had guests, and she said to him, "Put the kettle on the stove." And 10 minutes, 15 minutes, what happened to the tea? What tea? I put the kettle on the stove. The kettle empty, and the stove not lit. What he did, what she exactly said. So encourage daily routine, make sandwich, make hot drink, prepare your bed. Have you had, shower? Have you had brush your teeth? Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you had a cup of coffee? Do you have to do any shopping today? Establish a norm shopping. Like, he goes. Most elderlies like to go out for shopping on daily basis, which actually take them out of the house. After Corona, that's reduced a bit, but they're trying to encourage them to do it. Nutrition is very important, and hydration. You need to have a really balanced diet. Most of them rely on quick, ready meals, and sometimes easy meals, and boiled egg, and some toast and jam and things. And I saw a guy twice, and the only thing he has is toast, jam and toast next to him. Don't expect them to eat a large portion of food. Probably they will need half or a third of what a younger adult eats. So don't be surprised if they didn't eat much and things. And the personal care, that's the habit has to carry on. If the habit is not actually carried on, they drift away from washing and their body and have shower. And we had difficulty with one of the patients. He just wouldn't shower at all, wouldn't go to the bath, and he smells like from distance. And the OT tried, and the physio tried, and everybody tried, and they couldn't get him to even have shower. So if it is a routine and always checked before they become too impaired, that will help. That will probably with the time will start being lost. So if they get used to go to the toilet every 2 hours, and that carries on, try to encourage them. So even if they are demented, they will go to the toilet. But if their habit is just not go, some of them, to avoid going to the toilet, especially when they go to town, to the shops, they stop drinking or they stop eating. They don't want to embarrass themselves, and especially if they don't have control over their bladder or over their bowel. And they need to drink enough to keep the kidneys obviously running and safe. Medication management is sometimes dangerous and could be a nightmare. And forget technology, because technology, one of the people who actually I saw, one of his children bought him a sophisticated machine, and they put the tablets in the machine, and if he takes 4 times a day or 3 times a day, the tablets will be dropped. Then he had to take the tablet and swallow it. He doesn't need to think about what tablets to take and what time. And when I went to see him, there were a collection of tablets there. I said, "What's that?" He said, "Oh, I don't know. My daughter brought this. I don't know why she brought it." So the tablet is dropping, but he doesn't actually take it. And luckily, he doesn't take it. If he takes 3 or 4 doses more than usual, he will be dead in no time. So that could have even dangerous effect on them. So you need to make sure you always check the tablets and check with the surgery. This is the right tablets, because you might be taking old tablets, or he might need tablets to stop or tablets to be replaced. So you need always to check with the surgery about your dad and mom's tablets, and then check on the interaction between tablets and how the tablets are also taking. Like many of the elderly could be on aspirin. Aspirin usually use soluble aspirin. It has to be dissolved, not swallowed. And So physical exercise, it's a bit difficult to monitor and a bit. I mean, I had 3 so far in our small close. Tried to go and exercise outside. One died, and the next one started exercising, and then he died, and the third one started exercising, and he died. But there's one now I saw yesterday or the day before. I'm trying not to go and exercise outside because I might follow the chain. But they need physical exercise, and many of them go actually to the local community center, and they have exercise for elderly and geared to get the muscles moving. Dancing sometimes, movement to all the muscles is good. Good about exercise, they don't ask them to do one exercise. It's just 60 seconds for each exercise, so they don't feel they are doing a lot of exercises, but they sit like around round table chairs, and they move from chair to chair to chair. By the time he reached the first chair, the hour gone, and he goes home. But they need exercises. You need to give them a lot of emotional support. They will be more sensitive to remarks and comments, and especially if it's affect their ego and their self-esteem, and you need to know you're dealing with somebody who has a spirit. The spirit doesn't get demented, but the spirit cannot use the body because the body is failing. Like if you have a car, and the electricity gone, and the wiper is not working, and the brake is a bit loose and things, and then the poor driver just cannot control the car, not because there's something wrong with him, but he can't get the car to function. And especially those who get vascular dementia, they find difficulty in getting the words right, and they get angry because I know that guy. One of them was talking yesterday on the TV. He said the president of Mexico, Sisi, will not open Rafah to let. He's just gone. And Mitterrand apparently is the president of France and things. I don't know whether he will go on and carry on being the candidate. The other guy is not even better. But now imagine USA led by a demented president. There's nothing wrong about being demented, but there's something wrong about leading the world if you are demented. So you address the spirit, and the spirits have difficulty getting the body functions. So you need to actually notice that and try to alleviate the effect of not finding the words, and then don't make them like feel guilty because I told you that to go and have your hearing tested. I told you, Mom, to use your glasses, and you don't put your glasses on, and I told you to use a stick and you're not listening to me. They will get all this to their spirit and become depressed, but they can't even express they are depressed because they can't actually express their emotion and their feeling and things. And sometimes they get aggressive. They don't get depressed. They get aggressive. Why is aggressive? Because he's depressed. Because you keep hitting him emotionally, hit his personality, and then he get depressed, and he wouldn't function as you expect. Social engagement. Unfortunately, I mean, we have in Islam the mosques. You go 5 times a day. You meet people 5 times a day. The mosque is far away. He's no longer driving. And he's never been to the mosque. It's not one of his habits. I expected around 10 or 20 of our retired people here around Highland to come, but they don't. 2 or 3 come in old age. But this is a chance to sit and pray and then have a chat and sit, have a talk and have some tea or coffee. There's day centers, and there's Alzheimer's disease society, and there's forget-me-nots, and there's age concern. There's quite a lot of organization, and I went to some of them. People actually do go, but Asians are not used to go to these places. They don't actually go. Monitoring and healthcare. As I said, monitoring the drugs, monitoring the food, throw away the expired food. Monitoring the risks in the house, the loose carpets, and monitoring as he moved the furniture in a way that it will become in his way, and attend regular checkup with the elderly who have memory problem. Because what did the doctor say? I'm fine, nothing wrong with me. I told him about a list of things. So you better actually go with him, free yourself, and check yourself what the doctor said about his physical and mental state. And respect individuality. Individuality is what I'm saying. He's a human being using a body, a failing body, but he's a human being. His spirit's still there. And Muslims should be more acceptance. They have more acceptance to having a spirit and body. So you have a spirit, a soul, and a body. So the soul is there and aware, but can't use the body. Like the dead person. He hears the talk of people, but he hasn't got the body to answer. And the care approach has to be to the needs. The thing is that the Muslims have to accept that I have to work for his best interest, not what make me pleased. Like, yeah, Dad, I will do this for you. I'll do this for you, Mom. Or we have to share the care for Mom and Dad. And by the time he goes to the 5 children and come back, the 30, he was scoring 27, he will be scoring 12. Every time he moves, he loses 3 points. So 3 times 5, 15. 27 minus 15 is scored 12 now. Why? Because you are caring. You're kind and caring. But if he stays in one house or his house, one of my patients, his son is a GP, local GP. And I said, look, his mom and his dad became demented at the same time. I said, the best thing for you to employ a carer. So they stay in their house. They love the house. They know the locations of the kitchen and bathroom and bedroom and things. And a carer come. And they usually either living in carer or a carer during the day. Depends on the needs. The social service will provide, and this is our sister Roxana will tell you, maximum 4 home care visits per day. And the home care visits half an hour. But they will not provide more than that. If they need more than that, they need living in carer, or you need to move them to a residential home or care home. The caregivers, you have to look after the caregiver, because it could be the father looking after mother, or mother looking after father, or it could be a child, a son or a daughter have to support the daughter looking after the mom and dad. Or the carers who come and need to look into the pressure on the carer and how much they have. So I would stop here and probably ask Dr. Mudassar to take over, and inshallah. Do you have presentation you want?
I've got presentation, but I haven't sent it to you, so I've got it on my laptop. You want me to send it to you?
If you want it streamed.
I don't mind either way.
Because the streaming going on in my...
Should I forward the email to you then?
Yeah.